No, I can't do this. Take another. So she's okay. We'll say the recitations on page number 10. The recitation is taking refuge and generating bodhicitta and mandala offering. First, we will chant in Tibetan 2 times each verse, and afterward we'll say in English 1 time. In English, on page number 11, I take refuge in the Guru, I take refuge in the Buddha, I take refuge in the Dharma, I take refuge in the Sangha. From now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. May all sentient beings enjoy happiness and causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and causes. May all sentient beings never be separated from joyful bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. This ground, a mountain with perfume, strewn with flowers, Mount Meru, encircled by the four continents, surmounted by the sun and the moon, I visualize this Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy the pure land. Ida Roro Rana Meda La Kameya Daya. Today, English or Tibetan foundations? Tibetan. Okay. Okay. So last week we chanted in English foundation prayer. Today we will chant in Tibetan on page number 14.
Be za wo so so tar wa la ru pa nyam wo she per she ji lo yang ye se zo long wang che shen de ma zhen zhuo gun jiang de zhang tong ne zhuo wa zhuo wei kur che wei chang zhou sen chong zhong wu shen ji long sen zang jie jiang zi zhen nang song lang gong ba me na chang zhuo me zhuo long per tong ne ya se dong ba la zong ba zhang bo long per qian jie lo lo be ye la yang wa xie xie jiang yang da da la su chen chu ba yi xie ne la dong song de zhe wei la ye de zhe la jie wu xie jie lo mo lam jiang no de zhe wa na dong ba gun jie chou zhe dou jie dong ga zhang jie wu zhe wu dang ba de la nie dong zhu per qian jie lo de zheng ye zhu nam ni zhu bei xie nam da dang zi dong per song wang ga zhi ma me be nie wa nie zhe ne so dang de de song wu xian jie lo de ne zhe de nian mo ren nie ne na zhe shen dong ne zong ba yi ten zhe na zhe qiu li me yan wu dong bei song xian zhu per xian jie lo de lam zong dong bei xian yan dang zu xian zhe bian zhong nan xiang bian zhang che da na nie wer du zhu bie su nie wer shen chen jie lam du su che wang gong du yang da la ma me che jie ma la long zhu sa dang lang jie yong de rao zuo ni duo jie chang yi gong pang niu du shu shu 정말 전도시키시 대롱 다 가정 오막 된도 같더니 임행 같다 대롱 요아 지식듯이
Um, uh, Good morning and to all of you. And so we have discussed uh, uh, some of the 51 mental events, begin with uh, the uh, five omnipresence, five object determining, and also so today we are on uh, the virtuous factors or the 11 virtuous factors.
그땅으로 샘세 땅으로 용이 듣고 정말 정말 샘이요 실명 샘세 때라 샘세 간다즈는 파쇼 일지라 파다니 일지기 모든 일들을 다 주증인다 사리 차지가 샘세고요 샘때라 미워 원심도 도바 원심세야 때는 아주 먹고 원심 통다 안 좋고 장을 스티아 근데 비용딩아 소소 카트카트라 다 좀들라 원심세고 도바세야 돼 샘나왔다 근데 다른 데롱 쓴다 봐서 근데 기타 당부 홍보 통화이나 홍보 통zo 먹고 원심 통 홍보를 해서 근데 신인분도 성례에서 다 주제도 먹다네네 무슨 제가 따뜻히 샘나가 때 지금 때 이까지 요한에 봐 샘나가 신인분은 되게 있는데 라돈 제공스도 봐 자트 신인보세 자트 고용수 샘나 신인부 돈도 샘나 샤링 와서 어땠다 더 봐서 샘세도 잡았던 잡으러 원심세도 카트 들리고 이게 좀 보시면서 또 봐서 그때 봐 원심을 봐 이완이 제수라고 한다 돈 지로 샤라지라 싶었어
Um, Actually, the mental events or the mental factors. Um, so this is all actually occur from the experience uh, and the experience of the mind, and created by the experience of the mind. And uh, um, for example, first of all, of course, in order to us to experience or cure into our mind, we have to have the objects where we can able to see the object, and eventually we will determine the objects of the its nature and so forth. And when we contact when we have a contact or the uh, contact of the objects, either we call the direct perceptions or the inferential conceptions, and of course the direct conception, and there could be a numbers of the direct conceptions that we experience or occur in our mind whenever we have a contact with the object, and the five desirable objects and so forth, and also the inferential perceptions will be when we see the colors, the blue colors, or whenever we see the, for example, singing bowl, and when we see the singing bowl and have a contact with the singing bowl, and know the experience of the sound of the singing bowl, and later on, and whenever we heard the sound or the words of the singing bowl or the sound of the singing bowl, we have a kind of like generic or the imaginations of the objects, and but it isn't a direct the contact or the direct conceptions at the present, but we have imaginations in our mind which we call the inferential perceptions.
어떤 뜻하다 네 그냥 똑배 정도 그냥 롱바 잠바 지금 뉴욕도 시기나 뉴욕은 로용은 그 뉴욕도 진짜 뭐니 쳐고 이건 로마노도 미주들이 요르 시시는 무슨 뭐 어떻게 요르 삼는 뭐 다들 시고 그 maybe 그럼 참 더 많이 오늘 그런 거에 뉴욕이 많이 받 로버즈 바이오 남나 쓸모나 남도 써야 되다 아니다 뱀바이오를 좋아요를만 좋아요 너무 나중이지 또 받을래
Um, and also, it doesn't have to be, we have to witness anything. It could be the experience could be uh, influenced by the other individuals or conveyed by the other individuals. For example, a person's never been in New York City, and if that person was told that this is how New York look like, uh, and the busy and the full of people and all kinds of material and so on and so forth. So that person's even though he doesn't have an exact imaginary of the New York, but he might have some sort of like imaginations in his or her mind about the New York City, and uh, so this is all the very informations that receive or grabs from the one's thought or mind or conceptual thought. So that thought could be anything, could be true or could be false, or it could be delusions and extra.
그러니까 셈동 셈송도 셈세야 돼 그런 뭐 컨트롤 또 비게 셈나도도 싫어야 돼 셈세고 셈 띵당이 띵 잡은 거 치니 어다고 데들 최종데들 공통데들 고사야지 근데 강통지가 삼도 강통 늘 강통을 해서 삼던 건데 셈으로 또 텔라티니 샤토데 가르모르 젤모르 카토르 세티 샤프르친 것들라 샘숑세고 샘리 강 샘동 샘숑이 오치 바를 그런 젤리로다 델리지글 샤프르트리 치용 거스 샘세도 그런 노도 샤공데 샘 델리 샤프르친이 소소소소 지니 저부터 샘숑세고 샘숑 샤프르트리 치르세 그래서 이렇게 찾았어요.
Um, yeah, so this the mind and the mental factors, and it is the one entity, but different identifications or the categories. For example, um, uh, the when we have a kind of the vivid and the solid objects in our mind, so that is the mind, and when we distinguish or the identify by giving all kinds of reasons and informations what kind of object it is, what kind of colors or shape, weight, and so on and so forth. So these are all the mental events. And for example, an apple, when we have the thoughts or the imaginations of the apple, so that is the mind. But when we have experience of the apple, such as the apple, its taste, color, and going through the details of the apple, so that will be mental factors or the mental events. So basically, mind and mental events, these are both are same entity, but different identifications or the categories.
It's a sim sorry chatela nangan mangbo yo ane tin sol ton donde do chini gerong budilla kachina jala chwe me pe gone so so rambe deki yong gajila gewa se gors ane donde chile tela donde chi on to rambe jala chwa tang rangla no pa yong dingil jimbar shi pa jila ma gewa se ane te parol la chang me samlo chem pe sora tong yong sem ba tong yong o sem tela sem gewa sem tong yong sem chiang gors.
So this is just kind of the brief introductions or the brief the understanding of the mental and the mind and the mental events, and so as I mentioned earlier or before, the very advantage of the knowing or the recognizing the mind and its mental factors. It's very the good and us to understand us to the differentiate what kind of the levels of the mind and we have. For example, and let's let's say any mental factors. The more we familiar with the more we familiar and more we companion and more we have any of the mental factors. When we have a feeling of joy, so this is we consider as a virtues. And when we have the feeling or the experience of suffering, and we consider that mind as non-virtuous. But when we have none of those feeling, and then we consider as a neutral mind.
Kenza ta giwi sim, ta tanda tarang giwi sim tila tapa ngotsa shiwa, chaliyo pa, chapa me pa, tangwa me pa, tamu me pa, tsondi, shinjang pagayul, tongyong, nambar matsewa ta chichiyo tarisi.
And so today we are on the page 11 virtuous factors. We begin with the faith and self respect. Third is property, okay, non-attachments, non-hatred, non-deludedness, efforts, flexibility, attentiveness, equanimity, non-violence. I feel like I'm giving an exam to all the English speaker.
Tapa sayate, kitang ane, susu yil chiwi, yil demba tang, lawa me pa, ngui niligchikla, ta yi chiwa, chilango, tela tapa del, tangwi tapa, ishi tapa, ngondoji tapa, tabar sim shiyong kurisi. Kitang korang mui pi yil tela, demba chiko kurisi. Ichi tapa, tangwi tapa, ngondoji tapa. Tapa, tapi yil tela, demba chiko kurisi. Munto wachi.
And so first is the faith, and of course, there are three kinds of faith: the pure, convinced, and the longing faith. And of course, in order to have a faith, it has to be the real and not kind of the diluted, or it should be real. So this is we call the faith.
Zata tapa simbutela, tangwi tapa saya, te pasok yil te, susu la gawa tela sem tangne, yerang roji no, te pe yahore se semne, tela chua che, tel nangzi, te yahore se gawa gongo ta nyam te sun doba chin ngore te, tangwi tapa asir. ngombar tobi tabase ba ngombar tobi tabate pasho ko yonden to so tongchi yonden to tindi ko tong yakore sa jaba ma ba ti yakpu yonden to ngi gelang togu de ti cheteng ngi ala rewa chu gi sa kitang tabate nan toba damba che rewa che rewa chu ni togu de sa me samlo te la ngombar tobi tabare 이시 tabase de yimsen ko ko shi lo toni 어떻게 그런 소함에 발에 된 말에서 이치 왔대.
And so three faiths. The first, the the pure faith. The pure faith actually it's whenever we have kind of a sense of joy and a sense of joy or the mind of joyfulness and the fully kind of belief and faith toward the object. So that's as we call the pure faith. And the longing faith usually it arises by or the caused by the whenever we discover the very the value and the knowledge of that its objects. And for example, we kind of discovered that he or she or the any beings they have a great the virtuous mind and full of knowledge and wisdom, and we have a kind of strong wish to achieve that knowledge and the wisdom. And not only that, I will try my best and go after any the path in order to achieve that knowledge and achieve that wisdom. So that kind of wish or the mind we call the longing faith. And the third is the convinced faith. Convinced faith usually it is the truth or the not untruth.
답변은 선지 점점 로즈 뭐 빠지는 섬도는 달로니 동합 병원들이 지금 감들는데 납치는 기호 종사 선지 삼로 때문에 될라 손노 선노네 콜라 가와나 기원의 티 연들들이 전부 종사 선지 삼도 다 당외 답바리 다티 종아 티 gel라 연들 본통지 연들 탐지 근데 종사 종아 때 나라도 gel라 팀바바치나 톱지 요가지 봐 하고 진 있는 것 선점들라 그런 람마강 시빌람들 시네 선지사 로즈 람카테 랩트바 지기는 신도바지고라 텔라는 몸부터 답바리 다 들리 선점들이 들리 송 텔라 들리 톱지 요아지 선지 좀 든데 지신다나 선지 고봉서 톱지 요아지 이치다 뭐 요아들 이치다 바세다 들리 시겠어 노티잖아
So if I give you a very simple example of these three faiths, for example, of course, we all know that or we discovered that Buddha, historically came in this world like 2,500 years ago, and the Buddha had done tremendous the virtues deeds, and and that kind of beings is came in this world and recognized as a Buddha or Buddha Shakyamuni. And once we know that the history and the very knowledge and the wisdom of the Buddha, and then we have some kind of like a kind of increase and or develop the pure faith toward the Buddha. So that is the kind of pure faith. And once we develop the pure faith, and then next the very desire will be that I want to have this knowledge, I want to have this wisdom, and so forth. And I will I will do and I will take any the steps or the practice in order to me to attend that kind of stage or that kind of level, and therefore I will go after this, the path and so forth. So that is we call the longing faith, and and then in the very deep down we have some sort of like a belief that, oh, I know that the Buddha who has that kind of knowledge and wisdom, and who been in this world, who been gone through all difficulties and achieved that the stage of the mind or enlightened mind and so forth, and I know that Buddha has that knowledge and that power. So that kind of like belief or the faith. So that is we call uh, the convinced faith.
다 오차시와 때 아니 랑 소소 임진 지네오 다 지난 요거 요 말도 지난 소소로 딘디오 등이 용거세 지난 미중아 카당 거세 또 딘디스 임체 소소랑 임진 지니다 샤왕 한번 제 맞들 오차시와 또 지동 아주 지동 전에 고아지르지 치킬레멜레 통할 오차시와 임체랑 좀 시작다 샤왕 한번 제
And the second is the self respect. Self respect, in Tibetan we call it Moza Shiba. And so this is the usually caused by the self, I will say, literally translated like self reasoning, or reasons by the self. And for example, kind of refraining things and event that I'm not supposed to do. If I do, then I will, create the such what do you call the defamations, and it's not good for my reputations, and so basically it's kind of self reasoning. Because of the self reasoning, and we try to refrain the things and events we're not supposed to do, which is inappropriate for one's their style or their practice. So they're kind of refraining from this. So this is we call the self-respect, or the other translation will be shame, and so this is, I think, whether we are believer or non-believer, I think this is we all need it, and is required for the every individuals.
다 체육바데 라오로들이나 체육바데 젠염스시네 드리지네 잘라 요거 말때 드리지네 네 페나 소소 쪽보는 대지나 미 중에 쪽보디 가가 말쓰는 대짐진진네 점지에로 근데 페나 섬징 페는 아주 샤마사지나 강조 샤마사나 뭐자 시와이나 소소니 샤시나 지망아 딘데우 등의 연구에서는 섬당 샤마세요나 뭐자 요바들 다 샤사나 요거 말 샤사나 섬진진지 소쪽을 때 섬진라 등을 먹는 연구를 또 진짜 샤사가 문제나 또 체요바다 뭐자 체요제 잡을 때 있어 당dim 진진 좀
And the next is the property, right? Propriety. Propriety. Okay, propriety, and so that is the very similar with the self-respect or the shame. It's very similar, but the difference is the one is the reason for oneself, and the next one is the reason for others. And for example, and I shouldn't uh, I shouldn't do this, and it will be inappropriate for my actions or my practice, because it might cause the dislike and the harm of others. It's not like self; it's more like others. For example, let's say eating meat if you think of yourself, then if I eat meat or this and that, the result is not good, whether with spiritually and the healthy lifestyle is not good for me. And so this is like a self-respect or the shame. But if I eat meat, and this is not good, because animals also hurt. They have a hurt, and they will tremendous go through the pain and also being butchered and so on and so forth. So they will have a pain and like this. So this is the reasoning for others. So this is we call the priority or the embarrassment. That's the embarrassment. So first is the shame, and the second is the embarrassment.
Sonji said, Yella Tuan, Sonji was Gewala. Giwi shows Shawakans is Lazambo Shawakans Jena, the Latin Alwame, but some not dry only. Mutton Chigachilla, Sonji supporters.
Did you know? Machabar.
Wow,
Macha.
you know, so tell you about all the Shadam or the radio. Chapame, Chapa said, Sem Nang, Jimson, Wu Kangsi, Tong Yongzo, Tingago, and the Sun, 70 pa, Sem Nate, Tangu yet don't want that, Namna for your Zidart, or some of your. Yet don't want, Jazana, yet don't want long to the yet don't want the decade, or some of the young toward the yet don't want the Nago and the Sem de la Pa to the Chapa. Chapa me passate. Il est dans le bio de Ngao Gar Long Chogan, Long Choet, Long Chochin, Delatin, the Nago, and Zimbabwe Miazilla, and the Chapam Massacres.
Mm. And next is the non-attachments. Non-attachments. Um, so non-attachment usually the um, 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 for example, the sense of or the feeling of the wanting objects. So that is the attachments, and the opposite of this is the non-attachments. And reducing or eliminating is the non-attachments. For example, of course, the desirable objects, and whenever we see the desirable objects, if we don't have the grasping toward that desirable objects, then there's no problems. And the problem is the because of the attachments, and because of the grasping, whenever we see the desirable objects, and our whole attentions and the intentions and will go toward the desirable objects, and then we will have a sense of allness, or sense of like say, like, I want this, I want to have this in my life. So this is we call the attachments, or the grasping. And the so the very opposite of the those grasping and attachments, it is non-attachments.
What did Satani get on Dochachi, Tiwaji, Dambaji, the Mangos know yours. A chapel roach, so to get into the chapel roach, Kali how yours.
Mhm. Actually, when we look at these mental events, or the feeling or the sense, such as attachments, love, uh, the intentions or the intentions and or wanting, those are very similar.
어쨌든 뭐 성지 셰즈랑 나 성질을 지금 세와던 가와니 겹을 가려 그러는데 지와당 성지 좀더 렌트 갈 거잖아. 그러나 저런 이동 매도도 통화이나 매도들 가나 그때 나가 내가 가는데 나고 임신신이다 장의 키노 그래지. 아니 세와이나 콜 매도들 파지는데 야고르스 콜때 세와나 들 맞는 정중진이 칠리네 소중지 그래지. 잡을 때는 쓰르세 그러지.
So once upon a time, there was the persons asked Buddha, and what is the differences between the love and the um, love and the joy, right? Love and the joy.
가와 세와.
So, uh,
세와나 벤처럼 가와 조이나 조이스.
joy, right? Differences between love and the joy, and then Buddha replied. Buddha gave a simple, explanations, and if you um, if you love the flower, then you wouldn't, take it, and from the plants, you will try your best to nourish the flower as long as you can. If you love the flower, but if you just the have the joy or the love that caused by the attachment and desire, then you will kind of take this, from the flowers. So this is the differences between love and the joy.
어때서 당아도 미무치는 식질라 가와동 세와니 캬프르치네 세와데 비견을 보요나 세와데 요나 같이나 임 랑기 임치는 맞지 파쇼고 임치지노다 딜라 견을 보니 tap고르지 가와치 보이나 소소고 쯤는데 가와 넘바로도 매촌었더니 아 같은도 괜찮다 세와서야데 같이 보리다 그러지.
So therefore, it is very important to have a genuine love. When we have a genuine love in society, so there's a gather. There will be greater possibility that we may remain or stick together longer. As a family, or as the group people and whatever, and as long as we have a genuine love. But if we have a joy and that arise caused by the attachments and desire, then there's a risk that we might lose this very intentions.
또 셰당매 봤지. 셰당매 왔다. 파쇼 일 컨슬라 먹니. semne 나르스무드 sem낭나. 아주 강한 로베 어찌네. 세바 동용 진네 도와지거든. 세민도 빈도 맞지라. 셰당매 봤어. 셰당세도 셰당 아주 셰당세도 셰당 sem낭아 나르스무크로 sem낭나 강한 지틀령. 셰당도 뭔소한테 용거. 리가 있으면 가르치기나. 강한 지틀령 저 강한 데라 더 돈은 제로 제때 sem낭. 셰당 경우 셰당 정도 리가 대원도 요거 셰당 매 봤어야 돼. 동 초라도 강동강도 미비에 때라 때네 고 나스메 바세 콜라 셈나데 노바로 모용 같더다 또 셈바 동용로 지
야 셰당이 났으면 납습니로라.
셰당 용 셰당 이제 당부때 나스메 걸 콜라 때 콜라 강아지 삼던 때네 비 셈나 맞죠. 근데 다 시작적으로 그때 semna 강을 요말 이 강나 그 예때라 그 semna 강을 매워들라 나스매 봐서 제동매 봐서 그것도
Yeah. So non-hatred is usually the stage of the um, free from the all the problems, all the difficulties, all suffering. So this is a stage of the mind, kind of calm and neutral, or the equanimity. So that is the considered as a non-hatred. Usually, whenever we have a hatred, and then the hatred usually caused by the covetousness, and that will cause the hatred. And whenever we have a hatred, and then we'll have a suffering of a mind and a suffering of the body. But when we have the non-hatred, the state of the mind, and then it means that we are our mind is dual in the stage where we experience the equanimity, the calm, and the peace.
때문에 봤어요. 때문에 봤더니 강실라 뭐니 무비돈 때라 소소다 하고 네 새롭게 터졌다 봤지라 때문에 비싼 거였어요.
And next, number 16 is the dimuk, amoha, non deludedness, or non ignorance. And that the moment want to shut up the
시와시 돈데 하고 와서 선발을 때문에
so it is the mind, or the stage of the mind that understand the things and event, or reality, and so that is the called the non ignorance.
배는 이게들 다 생긴데 오늘 그때도 이게들 전자 전부 이게 지금 다 같이 들어왔대 때문에 봤대 이게들 뭐 말이 뱉 요말 미 같이 지금 가는데 가라 있나 전에 하마고나 때문에 더 좋아 주지는 얘기 지금 요 말은 있나면은 삼성도 티쯤 여기 뭐 터치 잡고 쉐르부터다 때문에 봤을 거지.
And for example, when I raise the pencil, and I declare that this is the pencil, and or I announce that this is a pencil, and this is the how it's look like, and what is the color of the pencil, and then whenever you see and you understand, and that, oh, that is the pencil. So that is it is the that kind of the mind we call the non deludedness, or non-ignorance mind. And but if you if you don't have any knowledge about the pen or the pencil, and so this is the considered as a deludedness, or the ignorance. And but if we have a kind of confused, or what is the pen, or what is the pencil, so that is the mind we call the darkness.
근데 다 존지는 리션 놓고 쇼라 좀 좋아진다. 좀 기위 쇼라 좀 좋아진 때나 직벌셔버지나 존지서 버려. 섬나 존지요나 섬나 좋아요나 그런 섬나 알와도 용 말지. 근데 좋아요는 알아면은 좋은데 기위 쇼라 고그랬어. 단도 정말 기와지고도 자정하네. 기와 기위 쇼라 때라 뒤지선동나 대화 좀 벌써 받아. 근데 도지고 왔어.
To draw in the
이와라 좋아대 존지지. semna 좋아요 나 때라 때니 ngalwayo mo mas.
Um, the 17, number 17 is the efforts. So effort usually, whenever we say effort in our Tibetan Zundu, uh, it is kind of like uh, mostly we consider as the part of the virtues mind or the part of the virtues the activities and when we able to navigate our mind toward the virtuous path or virtuous side or virtuous mind. So this the um, and then and also they have a great joys toward the practice. And when we have a great joys, then we don't have the feeling of tiredness or feeling of burdens. We delightedly or tirelessly we will always engage the practice or the engage toward the virtuous practice. And and this is considered as a virtues as well as the considered as the virtues factors and the very definitions of the effort will be having a joys toward the virtues. Having a joys toward the virtues is considered as a great effort. Is the definitions of the effort. When we say effort, it always means a virtuous aspect.
장아도 검대 잡았어. 검대 따바고만 따바고만 다른 거 따바고도 제는 전에 성지 좀 든데 있어. 라 삼나사 샤라지네. 좀 든데 따도 있던 거 근다때 근다때 성지 좀 든데 그 당가서 이제 망인도지랑 오늘 된데 말한 거 성지 좀 든데 오늘 때 롱압지 롱압지 혼데 야간 짓 같이 쇼네 냈다. 현대 된데 직접 나왔네. 따띠 이게 나네. 방비 연도 또비 연도 관통 연도 차상도 담바된 지금 성계를 선진의 감기 시험발이 선데 선하였고 선데 디테일 때문에 이 연도 탐전 다버드 양지 등 세르블라스 파트 탐전 아름 길랑 토나 삼이 삼노 때끈이 너무 많이 있어. 뭔데 그런 거 시작하지. 다바드 좀 해야지.
Dita Thomas camera. Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue next week. And so let's practice meditations for a few minutes. And today I want you to meditate uh, on a faith, on faith, the faith we have learned earlier. So there are three kinds of faith: pure, convinced, and longing faith. I want you to have a longing faith, and for example, first just have a
낭방이나 성지 정말 그 수수 건가 이치요라 때고나 들었어요.
yeah, if you are Buddhist, you can imagine the Buddha. If you are non-Buddhist, it's okay. You can imagine any god or goddess whom you believe. So you can choose any object whom you believe. But if you're Buddhist, you can choose the Buddha. Of course, we have a Buddha statue in the altar, and but it isn't a real Buddha, and but this is the kind of the statue that remind that is it is the object of the reminder. It's kind of remind us what is the Buddha, and but real Buddha, of course, historically born in India and 2,500 years ago, and we know that historically the Buddha Shakyamuni, who was friends and gone through all difficulties, and eventually he able to achieve uh, the uh, uh, the uh, the tremendous knowledge and the knowledge of the knowledge of the abundance of the old defilements, the knowledge of the achieving or the realizing the all the wisdoms. So that kind of knowledge we have to remember when we remember the Buddha, not only just the Buddha, but the Buddha mind, the mind of the wisdom and the compassions, and his wisdom and compassions. And then once we know that, and then you have to have a longing faith that may I have that kind of knowledge, so we will do this kind of meditations. Somehow that-
Not totally.
Now I'd like to take questions if you have. The and before you ask questions, I would like to there are clarifications about the flower. I say joy is not a joy, it's a like. If you have a, if you love the flower, like you, I like it or I love it. If you love, if I love flower, I will take care. If I like the flower, I will take the flower from the plants. So not the joys. I just want to clarify that. This came from my meditations.
The loving virtues of faith. Sometimes when I hear about other scriptures, maybe from Pali Canon or from some of the older canon, talk about Buddha Dhamma is different because uh, Buddha Shakyamuni talked about getting rid of faith or not needing faith. So in Sanskrit and Pali, were they talking about a different type of faith, or was it described differently in canons before, as where like he wanted to shed faith? Is that like, or is that just like final stages before you achieve like what he achieved? Type of thing?
You say canyon, right?
Canon, like some of the Pali canon or some of the earlier ones, I've just read where they talked about being faithless as a high achievement or something.
Okay. The 거기에 대해 인디로 진짜 고송 가시에다 다 빠진 낭바이 냠낸 조인 칭에로 진 서기나 가이나 아니 안주이다 데다 당주디 낭 추지어라 낭비 추디 소데 카르스나 수수 기다 대바세죠라 대바디다 직 메바스야 데미지 이외디 아니 타르두기다 직야 발레 되니 다다데 타르두레 되지요라 다디 비가만 수수기 데메디스 되디 디디로시레스 레스도 카리나 나야 대바 나야 개와나 디스투샤도 지금
원래 그다 축동 뜻이고 저를 답답하세다 몽들이나 몽들도 매워서 그렇소 몽들세도 김진 매워 방금 그 지중간으로 요새줘라 때 몽들 요는 아주 같이 거 몽들 남과 갖고 또만다 몽들 답답이 뭐마 지금 답하고 답하면은 때는 도바이온 막 지금도 삼로용 답방이 어떻게 보기요 답방이 어떨 답방 영 답하고 답하지 이때라 맞추어 마노라지 하고 가지고 얼마도 다 롱아지 몽틀세도 김진 쭉 가르치는데 좋아요 말다 레요 말다 네 상사고 깔리 잡고는데 가르치는 상사고 가르치기 요즘은 때 레면 어때 몽들기 전에 니와요 말선 모두 방네 오이 닐리 똑be 보니때 답이 안 터지나 답이 안 터는 것도 고아지겠지 몽들 답이 콩래 용 로고 말지
대바 양다요나 가요래
답이 안 터서 딕샤비 컴퓨터 기와라다 기위던데 오이 닐리 똑바질 시오라 때라 도바이 단다 때 코시야 때 몽틀리나 몽틀 그런 답아선데 게승고 답이 콩래 로고 말지
대바 양다요나 아니 가요래 이게 있어는 게 지도 봐 대바 양다 고르스 오라다
어떡한 답아 영답이 돈데 하고 하지라
음
진인 넘바지를 답아서는 넘바지를 줘
네
넘바데 안에 그 맨날 몽틀리는 데요 뭐그 염증이 시고 맞다 롱아도 지기다 가르치니 지기 요즈나 텔레 용고 또 몽틀 때는 그거 맞지는 오인 답아 양다 말서
So
이게 something 있잖아
I think, but I'm not sure. We can discuss more later, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's referring to the blind faith. Maybe referring to the blind faith, because actually faith is very important. What is mentioned here, without faith we won't have aspirations, and so aspirations is very important as well as the motivations, and so this all arise when we have a faith, three kinds of faith. And and of course, the speaking of faith, there are two kinds of. Generally, there are three kinds of faith, but the faith we were talking like faith and the blind faith, and of course the blind faith we should rid of. We should rid of, and we have to eliminate, because the blind faith, it will be like that. Let's say if we don't know any reasons and have no logic and reasoning, and we go after without knowing, maybe someone's convinced me, or someone yeah, because of the rumor and so on and so forth, we just go after without investigation. So that faith we should rid of, and that is considered as a blind faith. For example, if I'm doing a presentations without knowing the benefits, and without knowing the meaning and so on and so forth, and then someone asks you why you're doing this, and you will say, "Huh," like, and it's like that, blind faith. So of course, we should rid of the blind faith, but we should have the faith, longing faith and so forth, and the faith should be, the pure and the ultimate faith. Okay.
Um, regarding the three kinds of faith, it seems as if pure faith may still be subject to being misguided, as in the blind faith. Or there may simply be some delusion there. So with longing faith, it seems as if there is desire present. So there's an emotional content. It is still a subtle obscuration. But with convinced faith, only there does equanimity become possible. So it seems as if these three types of faith are a progression towards non-attachment. Would this be correct?
거기 그런 게 있다. 공수도 오지라 하고 다니나 딱딱 인디는 디게는 하고 면도 시나 답변한 거지. 아주 대버숨 줘라. 대버숨디 도스타도 사마니 당보디 당위 대바 당위 대바디 아니 도스타 사마가주 람로라 호아이기 닌카도 차기도스 베나가주 몬도이 멘다 대바 다우도 차기도스 and 클로다스 참참니 디 타콜로도 다다디키 중센다 리용 징기 차스위도 로실라지와 온디지치 아니니와디 먼저 당위 대바지라 당보디 딜다 고나디 당보디 딜이 이체 대바 있어 이치 대바 당위 대바 가래
온도지.
온토지 대바 레레르 권다 당보 당위 대바체 안다디 온토지 대바지요라 온도 대바디야 그러니 단두이디 안주 다 차발라고라 근데 this your those 아니 안주 다 the chorwado and the shukjen ji tede wa do those and de la ne ani manzu da ham go jura de pe chungkhan ni ji yo de wa do those and the chumbu me na chuju ji de yo de wa do those ani the teba 온도 지 teba 당위 teba 아니 대바지오라 대바랑디 아니 야 this the 먼저 당념 요아도 우체 당념 대 요아도 우체 다 가진 만지 다 대바 숨자 아니 먼저 다 먼저 디 셰당 매바다 주라 말에 도참 매바 도참 매비기 대 남마 니 조퇴기 되지 펜토구에 나와다 디 조퇴로 디로 이나 세도
그래도 또또또는 싫어. 저도 옹호도 또 너무 탁 전에 옹호도 얘기 난다. 옹호도 보기 짓을 나왔다. 옹호 보기 짓을 나와 이용 그랬어. 답안 짓 나온다. 옹호 노보기 짓을 나왔다. 멍청하다. 옹호도 기타 봐줬어. 옹호도 기타 봤을 때 그 옹호이 늘리도 콜라 강 토가 요한테 하고는 등아 톰도 군도 빠지는 너 빠던 너 책임을 잡으려 너 빠있는 너 책임이 좋아요. tindo batela ne ondo ji to ba ma ombo nombo ji sindang dotang taba chitang des ombo to taba de tangwi taba da o de ji komsu de chongwa sam chi ta jimchi shiro shi go ma ina ko de la ten santang ni ichi ji kne lang ne de la jing do wa de za o de za dang ano do chitang ani 옹호도 동네 보다서도 그 관사고 로고 잡을지 옹호 관사고 로 넘보때 남성 제가 냠때 되는 지고 막 동부 심지기 오다 동네 다다들 렌드 그사네 나 고는지 고 옹호 넘보 또때 말고 당분에 그 카로데 숑 마셔도 카숑소나 다가는 지로 나 로고 잡을 거니 잡고 그러지 된다 멍쳐야 돼 당위다 받대 멍쳐가 버리라 옹호 옹토기다 받대 멍쳐고 넘보라 옹호지 잠바이데 샬로 것이다. 옹도 볼라데 당위다. 옹토기다 받으시다 용토고 말하죠. 당보 이기 내리 동안에 심주시다고요 말. 된자 저는 좀 마음은 샤워간다 강진다 당보인 소소 심지게 보시 당보 년지 단 년비도 삼루 땅을 소소 선나 탁수 좀 토해나 아니 때는 지가나 처음에 뭐 착각이지. 된자 다 규티 다다다동이 len 다도 폰을 마시다 있나. 또도 들지겠어.
I'm not sure that that my reply will kind of reply your questions, but we could categorize within the two beings, the the dull-minded being and the sharp-minded beings. And for example, the 도바이나 도샤인 비차요 말라라게.
그래, 안 보이는 너 선비야.
그래.
담바데. 도바로.
And
담바데 도바.
이 원본 노블을 갈 때와이래.
옹호기당 넘보터 옹호 넘보티기 짓은 랑가강나 담보 닐리티 파 하고네 데니트 톰도 긴도 바지. 다 바지는 것들.
For example, the sharp-minded being, it always follow the path and follow the being and follow the informations by taking the all cautious investigations and experiments and and then they will follow. So this is considered as a sharp-minded beings, and whereas the dull-minded being, without any the taking any conscious the uh, investigations or the experiments, he or she will go after, and the so for example, yeah, there's a god or there's a Buddha, and who is the powerful one, and that's it, and he or she will follow them without any investigations, and their wisdom and their knowledge and so on and so forth. So once the dull-minded being, once they turn their directions toward any events or any path, and they will just go after without any, looking other possibilities and reason and logic and so on and so forth. And so therefore, it is importance that always be mindful toward the any events or the activities. First of all, we always go through the three things, and first we use we have to listen, meaning we collect the informations as much as we can, and then we contemplate on those information so that we have studied. And once we have gained the realizations, understand, oh yeah, this is right and this is wrong, that should adopt and that should abandon, and kind of like you have a realizations, and you kind of purify. At the end you will have a kind of perfections objects or mind or the knowledge. Then you kind of meditate on that object and subject, or you follow that whatever determinations you made. So this is the how we should do, and consider as a sharp-minded way, the characteristic or the style.
근데 저다 답답할 다른 가서 롱 몽틀 쳇 몽틀 지나가 좀 성지 좀 된데 쉐즈기는 인종 세모전이니 로지치 거래 딜랑나 안에 그런 호kun지 된 호데 호kun데 다 그런 요라 강지요 디 바로 강도 정도 되는 호kun데 셈 나고 마가지니 콜로 실로가 템버 로거든 그럼 미 주동 담바 설리 세모드 고네 니 차존 돈나는 좀 성위직든 하라지 그러지. 대고든 미 그게 우지 거기서 디체 성위직든 기기서 디체 담바 성지 좀 된데 시에드니 그런 나좀 공부도 좀 로지 주어지. 그때는 그 기타 거 뭐바로 그 성위 공부도 하고 있다. 미살리 세모그 통하도나 성위 공부도 해요 말로. 안로 기게도 되나 그때 파수티 람 로바탄 바 제등은 됐는지. 혼도 전에 그때 바로 코닝 바로 참아줘 미 바로 그 특성 때문에 참아잡는데 얘한테 공부는 그걸 높았단 말. 어때다 몽터제지. 몽터세 때 잡고 진다. 그때 값을 놓아치고 그래.
If I give you one very good example about these two-minded, and before we have any faith toward any objects. And for example, during the Buddha time, there was there was a person who is very historically well known among the Buddha's history, and his name known as 1,000 fingers or 1,000 nail mala, 1,000 nail finger mala, the persons. But anyway, the prior to engaging or encountering Buddha, actually he was the normal persons, and who had a great faith and hope and so forth. But due to the false and informations, and due to the gossip by other friends, and he was directed, he was arrived or he was misled toward the wrong master or wrong teacher. So wrong master, wrong teacher, because of out of jealousy, and that master gave him wrong informations. And for himself, he has a fully have a faith, but his faith was blind faith without any investigations. So anyway, that master told him that if you want to achieve the stage of the Brahman's stage, you should cut the 1,000 fingers and make a mala, and then you will definitely attend that kind of stage.
그래서 생각을 좀 이거 배.
And that mala not only just have a mala of the 1,000 fingers, but that mala you use this for your reciting mantra, and then it will be very powerful, and you will attend the Parma stage. So he did it, and he killed many numbers of people and cut their finger and then make their nail or the finger as a mala. But eventually, until he encountered Buddha.
성지 동그래서 성지서 성지 rollo 좀 욕보 덮친지 그래서 너무 욕보 지금 나 지었은 거 봐. 다 담았다 고 얻어 듣는 쪽까지 다 겉tem신. 뭐 세모지고 근데 전에 한번 다시. 다 코로나 정말 그 아마서 고 너무 좋았어요. 때문에 다 성지게 된데 다 진이 치선이고 근데 치어가 근데 그 람록반데서 가. 로지죠. 다 지금 되는 거
So anyway, so he collected 999 fingers. So he only needed one finger, and then finally he saw Buddha was walking. And no matter how fast he was very strong person. He was no matter how fast he go, he never able to catch Buddha, and then he was kind of screaming and telling like, "Hey, stop or wait." But anyway, at the end he met Buddha, and so he had no options. Either he had to kill his mother or kill Buddha to get the last finger. And but anyway, after encountering with Buddha, and Buddha, show him the right path, and tell him it was all misinformations. There's no way you can get the liberations or the any kind of stage by killing and hurting other people. All you accumulate the non-virtues and bad karma, and you will fall into the wrong hell realms and so forth. So anyway, Buddha showed him right path and right directions, and so forth. And then so there's the whole the book of story about that persons, and how he was and how he become and how he met Buddha. And maybe in future we can talk more.
Okay. 야, 달라면 그래.
Thank you, Geisha. Thank you, Temple. Thank you, everyone. If you would like to make a donation to the monks in the monastery, it would be greatly appreciated. And you can do that by calling 812-336-6807 or by emailing the center at tmbcc.kcl@gmail.com. For those of you here in the temple, I'll pass around this bowl. And if you would like to make a donation, it would be greatly appreciated. But if you cannot do that, just a simple mantra or prayer in the bowl is fine. Thank you. Oh, and there's a little bit of food left over that's in the kitchen if anyone would like to have that. And also there's fruit outside in the hallway that was blessed during a puja. Please help yourself to that, and some candy. Thank you.
Dedications on page number 80. Oya dene rando bele sonye kadar yawa kanshi sangpa lo mu hare jin don Nam ben ya ve wang bo da je ma so be ce ro kon do ya ja be yang ji ce ve je son de da be re ma gen san nan je sho nie ne re be ya na je sho na ye o be Shu da zi li zhong wei ta bie jin zhuo wei ye jie wen ma sa qian ya wei dan ba yu ran zi zhi jin Dan ba ren chen shuo ye ma cha cha jiang yang ber zhi wei shuo de yang jie chen bo ye ro zhu ma yin pa de sa wer che par sho se je ya wei me shuo zhen le la zhu shang zhu lam jin ren bian chang ta do nam je ye la de shang ya wei za ba ran de zhong zhi Nam san zhen bia tun jian zhu xie jian ga jian se zhi mu dong mu men se ru gen de liao wei ma ba Nam dong lang zhi wer ma zhi jin ang zi tang ba zhou la zhi zhou si zhen zhi la zong ba de ye zi de nan jie da de zhou xi zhang zhao xi jiang zuo qiu gen chao zhi jie ba de zang ye ma ren bo xie da su nian ge guan mi dan yu la ga zhen qian bo gu ni jie song de guo song de jie wu zhe za de song Chanjo Sencho Ramboche Maje Bana Jeje Jewa Nyamba Me Parayang Kone Kundu Pewa Sho Kare Rave Gurve Shinkandur Andan Dewa Mane Jove Chare Zawa Tenzen Yasoyi Shabe Sende Bardo Dangerji Jamba Bao Jatra Chemba Dan Kondo Zambo Deya Dejende Deta Bunje Jeso Dalo Jen Yewa Deta Tamchi Rabdo Deso Shabe Yawa Tamche Owa Kama Chodu Mapande Daje Yewe Sawa Dekanjang Sabo Joshi Rabdo Mowarji Pende Joni Tamba Darshanji Tanjang Jewo Tamche Kankanzang Dechen Kengla Dechen Zhongyue Sanje Tamba Tade Jijirji Tsera Gengde Yawa Tsungkawe Tancho Shinye Ngusu Zabende Yawe Ngabe Lanzang Denye Le Gaje Zayang Dobar